Hey everyone, Jake Nikolopoulos here, Massive Joe's and BSN sponsored athlete, here with another episode of Progress. This is the second episode, so in this episode we're going to be doing a Q&A, questions. So Massive Joe's posted a link on their Instagram and on their Facebook page. If anybody had any questions to ask me, to send them in. So that's what I have here. I'm not going to answer all of them at once. I did get a few pages of questions here, but I highlighted some that I'll answer for you guys now. So let's start with Ryan Orchid. Jake, any tips or tricks to maintaining gains and strength if you're struck down with the flu for a week? This is a good question because I was sick. I had, I think it was probably 2 weeks ago now, I had the flu for 2 weeks. So I was even longer than you said it, for a week. And I copped it really, really bad. To the point where I didn't even go to the gym. I didn't go to the gym for 2 weeks. I took 2 weeks off training. So I think if you're really, really sick, and if you run down, you have a fever, all you can do is just get the fluids in. That's the most important thing. So just keep drinking and drinking and drinking and get all your meals in. So that's what I decided to do. I did come to the gym a couple of days, of course, me being stupid. And as soon as I started lifting weights, because I had a really high fever, I just started to get a really bad pressure build up in my head, and I just couldn't train. So I went back home, ate my meals, prepared. The biggest thing about being sick is being bored, and it's frustrating because you think that you're missing out and you're losing size and all this sort of thing, but realistically you're not. So you'd be better off just staying in bed for those couple of days or staying around the house, stay warm, drink heaps of water, take all your vitamins, and then just sit it out. I'm not a huge fan of antibiotics. Only because I believe that they strip out a lot of good bacteria as well as the bad bacteria, and they sort of set me back a little bit too with my, I don't know, they're not very good on my stomach. So if I can avoid antibiotics, I will. So that's why I like to just sit it out and fight the flu if I get it, or a cold or whatever it is. So hopefully that answers your question. But don't worry about losing any size or whatever in those few days. Of course, your body's run down, you're sick. In a couple more days and you'll be good to go. I have another one. Next question from Adrian Bro. That's pretty sure that's Adrian Brown. I know who Adrian is. I've trained him a couple of times here in my gym. Hey, this is his serious question. Jake, what's your porn star name? First name of the porn star is your first pet, and the last name of the porn star name is your street name. First pet. My first pet was a goat called Daisy. That's true, I'm not joking. And street name, last name, street name, is Duke, Retreat, Duke. So Daisy Duke would be my porn star name. This actually sounds quite good. Daisy Duke, Adrian. So look me up on Brazzers, look me up on XNXX, look me up on YouPorn, okay? Daisy Duke. Next question is from Matt Yates. I train early in the morning at 5 AM. Would you suggest having a shake prior to working out or train fasted? Matt, I would suggest that you go to bed a little bit earlier and wake up earlier and have a full breakfast. Or try to get in, even if you can just put in a blender or in a bowl, oats, blueberries and protein powder, or try to get some sort of meal in. Like there's not really any excuse to train fasted. Like there's so many quick options you can have in the morning. You can have your protein powder with oatmeal, with blueberries on top. And that's just a quick little bowl. If that takes too long, you can even just chuck it in the blender, as long as you have something in your body. But I would suggest waking up a little bit earlier and having a full breakfast. I would never suggest training on an empty stomach. Just doesn't make sense. Jake Sims shares the same name as me. Jake, What's your opinion on nutrient timing in your off season? Do you eat carbs with every meal or just breakfast, pre and post workout? Jake, I eat carbs in the off season every meal. So I'd eat it from breakfast, before I go to bed, even if I wake up in the middle of the night to go to the toilet, I would eat more oats, eat more carbs then as well. So I really don't put a restriction on my carbs. If I'm eating clean carbs, I try to eat sweet potato, rice and oatmeal in the off season for all of my carbohydrates. And I find with me and my metabolism, I can eat so much of that and I don't get fat. So I eat carbs with every meal. And that's probably because I have such a fast metabolism though. There's other guys that I know that still have to keep their carbohydrates around 200-300 grams in the off season. Otherwise they start to put on a lot of unnecessary fat. Whereas for me, I probably have 500-600 grams of carbohydrates and I still struggle to get really fat. So you have to work that out really pretty much on your metabolism. If you put on fat really easily with carbs, then just work out the carbs you need and put them around the times of day that you really need them. So nutrient timing would be, for someone that is very sensitive, nutrient timing would definitely be something that you have to be on top of. Having the carbs for breakfast, having it before you train, during and after you train. So it's pretty personalised, that question. Not an easy one for me to answer. Jordan Henry says, best recommendations. Recommendations? Well, it sounds funny when I say that word. Best recommendations to training and nutrition for a 16-year-old. Well, this one's going to take me a while to answer this. Eat whatever the you want and train with heavy weights. That's it. Eat everything. Lift everything. That's it. You're 16 years old, your body's growing, you don't need to go crazy on all the diets and everything like that. Just eat everything, lift everything. Seba, S-E-B-A-A-A-A-A, Seba says, lately whenever I train triceps or chest, my elbows get this sharp pain. Am I just not warming up enough? Thanks, Jake. Well, Seba, I think you're not warming up enough. I would say I get tricep. I don't know where you get the pain, but I get my pain right here on the outside, on the inside of my arm, the tricep tendon there, and that's usually anything overhead, skull crushers will do that to me if I haven't warmed them up enough. So before the workout now, I'll get a rope and I'll do maybe 3 or 4 sets of 20. Nothing crazy, but just, I won't start doing all of the heavy presses or overhead movements until I've got enough blood in the triceps. And another little tip too that I do is, if I'm doing anything overhead, I'll try to keep my elbows on like a 45-degree angle back. So if I'm doing skull crushers, instead of my elbows, let me see if I can get this on the camera. So instead of my elbows being straight up and down like that and just putting all the pressure on the elbow, I'll bring my elbows back and then squeeze. I find that takes the pressure right off that tricep tendon. I don't get any sharp pain at all. But as soon as I bring my arms to like 90 degrees, then I get that sharp pain straight away. So play around with the angles. Even if you're doing like overhead dumbbell extension, you can, instead of doing straight up and down, just lean back and keep it on the triceps. So there's a few things that you can do, but I find that's the biggest thing, warming it up and just mucking around with the angles. If skull crushers give you a real hard time on your elbows, try to do them declined. That's another one that I like, or do it inclined, muck around with it. Just try different angles. Next question. Answer a couple more. Next question is from the Marine. I'm trying to bulk up. My metabolism is so fast though, I've lost 5 pounds. Should I dirty bulk? The Marine. My answer to that question, you're probably not going to like it, but I really hate it when people tell me that their metabolism is so fast and they can't bulk up. And they're eating, and usually what they say is, I'm eating everything, Jake. I'm eating so much food and I still can't put on weight. And it frustrates me because my answer is always the same, and it's eat more food. And usually they'd say, but I can't eat any more food than I'm eating. I'm eating so much food, it's gonna make me sick. And my answer is still eat more food. I don't think you need to understand that if you can't put on the weight, you've got to eat more food. If you have to do it, obviously whole food's the first option, that's the best option. And then if you've got gainer shakes and things, we've got awesome shakes that you can look at. BSN has the true mass. You know, there's so many things that you can do to get all those extra calories in. But speaking from my own experience, when I first started, I had Graham Lansfield, who's the president of NABA. He helped me with, I think it was the first year or second year I was competing. He helped me with my diet because I was saying the same thing. I've got a fast metabolism, I can't put on the weight. You know, what do I do? Do I just eat pizzas? Do I eat McDonald's? Eat all these sort of things? Anyway, so I had the same conversation with Graham, and when he laid out for me the food that he wanted me to eat in a day, it was disgusting. That's how much food it was. It was literally sickening to even just read it on paper when I printed out a day's worth of food that I was eating when I was trying to put on weight. You know, I was drinking milk out of the container. Like I was drinking a whole, what are they? 2 liter milks in a day. I was eating 2 whole chickens a day. I was having my red meat. I was having 20 full eggs every day. I was having my mass gainer shakes. I was having 2 cups of rice every meal. I was having my oatmeal for breakfast. And on top of that, if I would eat junk food every now and then, yeah, I would, but I was eating so much food, I felt like I was gonna explode. So I don't think there's really an excuse to, I'm already eating so much, I have a fast metabolism. Eat more. Yeah, you know, your metabolism is different to everybody else. He might be eating that and he's putting on weight, and you try it, you're not putting on weight. Eat more than he is. You know, that's pretty much all there is to it. There's no excuse for that, having a fast metabolism. I've had it. You know, I used to make myself almost throw up when I was eating my meals. And it got to the stage, this is how disgusting it was. It got to the stage where whatever I couldn't eat on the plate, I would just put it in the blender and blend it up and drink it. So whether it was chicken, rice, potatoes, anything, I used to just chuck it in the blender, put some sort of liquid in there, whether it was milk or something, and just drink it. So that's how far I went to put on weight when I was bulking up. Now the weight comes on easier as I got older, but I think I was probably maybe 20 years old when I was eating like that. So there's always a way. So that's about it for the first Q&A episode for Progress. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And you know, when Massive Joe's puts up the Q&A link for this series, feel free guys to post your questions. I've still got a bunch more questions that people have sent that I didn't get to answer in this episode. But you know, feel free to post your answers, post your questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. Like I said, I'm no expert, I'm no guru. I'm just trying to help people who you know, who don't have a lot of the answers or the advice. So some people don't have access to the answers, and you know, if you can send them to me and I can answer it in the best of my ability, then you know, I'm happy to help all of you guys. So that's it. And next week you guys are going to see another one of the training videos when I was doing Neil Hill's Y3T workout for chest and triceps. And then a week after that we're going to do Q&A again. And that is all. So don't forget to subscribe to the Massive Joe's YouTube channel, like their Facebook page, follow them on Instagram, and you know, follow everything that the guys are doing. They're doing some pretty cool stuff over there, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Team Massive Joe sponsored athlete, but you know, it's very refreshing to see a company like Massive Joe's that, you know, they practice what they preach. You know, the owner of the company, Joseph, you know, he looks great. He uses all the supplements. They give really unbiased raw reviews on all of the supplements. And you know, which is really cool. You know, when I was younger, I used to just go on the website, and when you go on a product's website, of course they're going to say, you know, this is the best product and blah blah, and it sucks you in, even when you open up magazines. But I think what Massive Joes do on their Facebook page and on their website, it's really cool. You know, they compare products together, and you know, it's a no bullshit approach to it. So it gives everybody a really good indication of what products do, how they, you know, how they work and how they compare against each other. And I think that's really, really cool. So don't forget to follow them. And that's it for Jake in this episode. I'll see you all next week.